AM, 99.7 FM, WIDU1600.com. We are WIDU Fayetteville. We do radio. Follow us on Facebook at WIDU 1600 AM.
This edition of your local news and weather is brought to you by Fayetteville PWC.
NCI News, I'm Mike Rayleigh. Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina is blocking acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's nomination. Tillis, meanwhile, strongly criticized the controversial Justice Department's 1776 fund.
I want to stick a fork in this turkey of a 1776 fund. You've said that it's moot. I've had colleagues here, attorney. I'm not an attorney. I'm a business consultant. I see a problem. I want to solve it. This is a problem.
UNC Chapel Hill Chancellor Lee Roberts called on Thursday the ongoing internal investigation into football general manager Michael Lombardi very distressing. He spoke on Thursday about the matter.
I'm disappointed that we're talking about this. We should be focusing on our student athletes and on their success on the field.
President Trump announced a deal for Hamas to disarm Gaza. Correspondent Mike Hempen.
The president has announced a deal on social media, saying it will be carried out in structured phases. Trump says Hamas will disarm and Israel will withdraw its forces from Gaza. But many hurdles and conditions remain to wind down the war. Neither Hamas nor Israel has given any indication that a deal has been reached.
Firefighters in southwestern France are working to control the last hotspots of a massive wildfire. The blaze has burned an area 4 times the size of Paris. The National Weather Service has confirmed a rare mountain tornado touched down in Madison County during Tuesday's severe storms. The twister caused mainly tree damage. The North Carolina Department of Transportation held a public forum in Wilmington to consider tolls for the new Cape Fear Memorial Bridge proposal. This Wilmington resident told the panel.
On the toll, Roe believes that this is fundamentally a fairness issue. A toll is a regressive tax, and the burden will fall hardest on the healthcare workers, teachers, hospitality staff, and college students commuting from Brunswick County.
You're listening to NCI News.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. On Thursday, July 30th, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office found human remains in the 1300 block of Deep Creek Road in Fayetteville. At about 4:30 p.m., deputies found the human remains in the woods in that area. The identity of the individual is unknown at this time. The investigation is still ongoing. They will release more information when it becomes available. Do you have questions, ideas, or feedback about Cumberland County? Coffee with the Commissioners is your opportunity to connect with your county commissioners in a relaxed, informal setting. Ask questions, share what's important to you, and learn more about the projects and initiatives shaping the community. This is Tuesday, August 4th, 6 until 7 p.m. at Bethany Rural Fire Department Station 12. If you can't make it, mark your calendar for the next event that is on Wednesday, August 19th, 8 until 9 a.m. That is at the Hope Mills Public Safety Center. Light refreshments will be provided at both events. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
Good Friday morning, we start your day with mostly clear skies and temperatures in the mid-60s. Highs are a bit warmer today at around 90 degrees, and we'll see plenty of sunshine throughout the day. We're then partly cloudy overnight, and temperatures will drop to around 70 degrees by Saturday morning. We're then partly cloudy on Saturday with some brief showers possible, highs at around 90. Better chances for showers and storms by Sunday, with highs cooler in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCA.
This edition of your local news and weather is brought to you by Fayetteville PWC.
Looking for a fun challenge this summer? Join the Cumberland County Public Library for the Unearth a Story Summer Reading Challenge, happening through July 31st. Read great books, discover new stories, and earn rewards along the way. Participants can win prizes and will be entered into a grand prize drawing. The Summer Reading Challenge is open to all ages. To learn more, visit cumberlandcountync.gov/library or follow CCPLNC on social media.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Hi, I'm Mitch Colvin, president of Colvin Funeral Home and Crematory. For over 50 years, our family has provided professional services with dignity, compassion, and respect with families during a time of need. We realize funeral services are as unique as those we're honoring. We offer a variety of affordable, quality services tailored to meet each family's needs, specializing in burial and cremation services. Proudly servicing Cumberland, Robeson, Hope, Harnett, Bladen, and surrounding counties from 2 locations, 2010 Murchison Road, Fayetteville, 1904 Elizabethtown Road, Lumberton. For more information, visit our website, www.hmcolvin.com.
Good morning on this Friday, 6 minutes after the hour. And, you know, the weather's not too bad out there today. Really, it's kind of nice, really. I was out walking the dog there, and he was all spiced and happy and everything. And that was a little bit, though. That was closer to 6 o'clock. But anyway, though, do appreciate each of you, and thank you so much for being with us on today. Got a great lineup here. Lots of things to talk about. And we have Jay and DL. And good morning, DL.
Good morning, Eric. Hey, I finished my walk early this morning.
Good. See? Get out there and walk Bella early. Bella is his dog. So, good morning, Jay. How you doing?
Good morning. I have no dog to walk, so I'm glad you guys got out early.
Well, actually, they say that because of the pet, because you're required to walk, people with dogs tend to live longer. Because you're forced to get that exercise in every day. So what now?
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that.
So, you know, because you're forced to get that exercise. But
yeah, I'm exercising, though. I am walking just about every day, so I'm getting that exercise without a dog.
Right. But anyway, I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much. I'm also functioning as Bella's therapist via her owner. I'm talking to DL about doggy behavior.
Okay.
Man, they're interesting creatures now. I'm trying to tell you. They can tell you, look, they're smart. I mean, you know, all these, man, you read about them. These dogs do heroic things, too, you know? Come on. I know. You got to see that stuff. It's in the news. They're not making it up. It's not AI, man. It's the real world. Super dog. Underdog. Anyway, look, glad to have you guys on this morning. We'll deep dive into some things. I'll let DL kick some things off.
All right. Well, it's been a week full of education. 2 famous HBCUs have been in the news, and we're going to go to the north, nation's capital, Howard University. So, depending on who you listen to, you're going to hold a certain side at fault. But I'll say this. One thing we don't know is that we don't know what correspondence. We don't know if it was by mail, certified mail, or email, delivery confirmation. So basically, there's about 500 students Howard had to disenroll. And Troy and Jay, y'all been to college and you've put kids in college, and I have too. You know, you have suspense for a reason when it comes to colleges. You know, the support staff, teachers. It's a lot of things to go in to getting a student prepared for college. So what happened? Howard had gave a suspense for some students in July. It's either June or July, and it was missed. So they disenrolled 500 students, and naturally, it makes the headline, and people are pointing towards Howard and say that's just like HBCUs. And let me tell you, Howard's is a top-notch HBCU for a private school, and it costs a lot of money to go to Howard. So what happened? Here's what's happened. Depending on who you listen to, Howard usually receives funding, and they didn't get this funding this year. And some of the students that were disenrolled were waiting on scholarships to kick in, because in the military, that soldier, I've been in active duty reserve, to get your TA, you know, you have to make sure you've been attending drill we call battle assembly, and you got to make sure you have your paperwork submitted to your commander in time. If you don't, it's going to cause a delay. And so with Howard not getting that anticipated funding, they had to make some decisions, and they disenrolled some students, but they found a way to get them back on. Here's my thing, Troy and Jay. I believe Howard kind of panicked, but not, you know, it was like 3 families that made that suspense. And what's happening, these scholarships, like from the military, wherever you're getting a scholarship from, they don't kick out to August. So what was supposed to happen, Troy and Jay, was they were supposed to make some arrangements with Howard, and that wasn't made. And here's my question before I yield to you guys. Who got the email? These were freshmen. Did the administrator, did you CC the student and the mother, and did they read their email? And I can tell you from being a supervisor with the city of Fayetteville and in a First Sergeant Army Reserve, I can't call everybody. And when those officers on the road, what I purposely do, I want to send out stuff that I need to do as a supervisor or a first sergeant for the key leaders or the officers. I put return receipt. That way, I know it hit their computer, and sometimes it'll tell me when they read it or when they deleted it. So I put the onus on them. Hey, chief, whoever, they were told, they just didn't execute. So folks got to realize that when you're receiving emails and correspondence, you got to open your mail. You can't let your mail sit 2 or 3 days, and you have to read your email from time to time. You know, that's what you have to do. I'll yield to you, Jay.
Yeah, I would just say a couple things. First of all, I think I read that Howard's tuition is $70,000 or $76,000 a year. That's like Duke money. It is really like a. You're talking about one of the better schools in the country, not just as an HBCU. It's supposed to be. It's a great university. I'm from the D.C. area, and I remember hearing a lot about Howard University. But I would say this, that I don't know all the details, but I do know that when the students were disenrolled, a lot of the responses went viral, and it sounded like most of the country, at least what I saw, were saying, come on, Howard University, you can do better than this. These kids have prepared and were expecting to get in. I do think that in this day and age with all the emails that come through and notifications, it would have been interesting, and I don't know what was actually told to the media, but did the parent receive something and the student? Did something come? Was there a hard copy sent? So, you know, at the end of the day, what would be important for me to understand is how were folks notified? I'm glad that things were resolved and the kids are going to get to go to school this year. Is that correct, DL?
Yes.
And I think that's the right thing. I mean, these kids have worked so hard. Obviously, you got to get good grades to go to this university. So I'm glad it worked out. But I think that America seem to be on the side of the students. It's like, come on, try to figure this thing out. Something went wrong, make it work, and I'm glad they made it work. So that would be all I'd have to say on it.
Sure. I have a question for you, Deal. Didn't you use the terminology TA?
Tuition assistance, I guess.
Okay. I didn't know what you meant when you said TA, so I just asked. That's why I was asking that. Okay, all right. Right. Thanks, I appreciate that. For those that heard him say TA, he was talking about tuition assistance. Yeah, I'm a VA graduate myself. I mean, in other words, I got my education through the old GI Bill, whatever it was called then, and I was well aware of what I was doing. That's why I went to the military initially. Probably would have stayed in had I gotten an assignment east of the Mississippi River, but still, you know what I mean? I went in for that reason. You're right. Jay is a product of an HBCU as well, North Carolina Central.
Absolutely.
And
go Eagles.
So that's right. And I'm a Bronco. 2 degrees from when I first started at FTCC with FTI. So that's how old I am. But anyway, though, so it was Fayetteville Technical Institute. But, you know, and my daughter is a graduate of 2 HBCUs. That is A&T undergrad, and her medical degree is from Tuskegee, which I think Dio wants to talk more about some of that stuff. But, you know, look, guys, it's expensive. When you go to these, I don't care where you go. If it's a private institution, you're going to have to pay. You know, and so that's the way it goes. But I would agree with him. I believe that parents have to be cognizant, and you got to be paying attention to things. And I had to put out a few fires in both places, at Tuskegee and at A&T. But, you know, my daughter listened to me, and I told her to have her act together. So when she went to someone for help, it made it as easy as possible for them to help her. And when she went to her dean for an issue one time at A&T, he said, "Oh man, I'm glad you did this. Da 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 da. I wish everybody came to my office was like this. Blah blah blah." You know, so parenting and getting these youngsters to the next level is it's exciting, but it can be a headache as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Troy, and are you finished, Troy?
Yeah, I am.
Before we move on, one last thing before we go to talk about Tuskegee. The university knew this is probably the first time this is going to happen, because I've never heard of Howard having to do this. What they should have done was took an alpha roster from A to Z, and then admission should have said, not only will you reach out via mail, email, you will call them. Because once you call them and they were told, then you've done your job, and then it's right. Back on you. That's what they should have done, the old-fashioned way. But speaking of another famous HBCU, and because I listened to the comments of everybody had an opinion across America, and, you know, some people talk about, why are you trying to get an HBCU? Go to a PWI, that's predominantly white institution. And I think about Troy's journey with A&T and at Tuskegee, and what his daughter do, a veterinarian. Not only she's a veterinarian, oncologist. So we prepare people to go out in the world and do great things. But get down to Tuskegee, the administration has basically said, when you're out about on their campus engaging in student activities such as going to class or professional business, I don't want to see bonnets, do-rags, and just attire that just is not a professional look. So I agree with Tuskegee. This is their university. This is a private HBCU. And this has been in the uproar, and then you've had some folks say, well, they don't even police us like that at a PWI, predominantly white institution. Well, I look at Tuskegee, one of the Booker T. Washington, that's the first thing I think of when I think about that university. And I'm like this, as long as they're telling you what the standards are, you have to make a decision. Do I want to abide by the rules and regulations that this university has set forth? And if you don't, you need to go to another university, because they're trying to make future leaders of America. And to me, I won't say it's much ado about nothing, because young folks want to express themselves. Now, I do expect Tuskegee to be specific, because I don't think you should have to wear. This is just me. I don't think you should have to wear a polo every day. I think there's some nice attire out there that you can wear slacks. I know they don't want the pajama pants and the bedroom shoes, but I'm hoping that they're not saying when they're going to regular class it has to be slacks and a polo shirt every day. So I'm gonna deep dive into this. But most of the uproar has been back because they're talking about the bonnets, the stuff that you just folks get out, roll out of bed stuff. That's what I hope they're emphasizing on.
Yeah, it's interesting. When I heard the story, I'm on Facebook a lot, and there are these folks out there that have been posting stuff about bonnets and bedroom wear for a while. Typically, I have seen some black women who have been very anti-bonnet, anti-bathroom wear going to the shopping center. There's one person that specifically posted, why are women wearing bonnets and bathroom wear at the airport? Slippers and pajama bottoms and bonnets at the airport. I never even knew this was an issue. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing so much about the bonnet on social media. So something that maybe it's been going on a lot longer than I realized, but in the last couple of years, maybe in the last year, bonnets everywhere. So now when I go out, every once in a while, I'll see someone at a gas pump pumping gas with a bonnet and bathroom wear. I could care less personally. However, getting back to the university, I think there should be a standard. I mean, listen, I know kids are young. They, these are 18-year-old kids. They're going to school. This is their chance to be independent. So when they're in high school, they're still living with their parents, so they still have some standards. Now you go to college, and it's like, wow, I'm away from my parents. I'm tired. I don't really feel like showering this morning. I'm just going to go in my bathroom, in my bedroom stuff. I totally agree with Tuskegee. There is a standard, and I think there should be a level of professionalism. It doesn't mean you need to go wear a suit, like DL said. You don't need to be that professionally dressed, but there needs to be a level of professionalism because we're setting you up. You graduate school, you're going to be professionals. You're going to be starting a career, and the last thing you want to do is on a job interview, go to an interview with a bonnet on. So totally agree. The do-rag thing, I guess the do-rag thing doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, I'm here. As a white guy, if I'm at if I see someone with a do-rag, I could care less. But anyway, that's me. I'm glad Tuskegee's doing what they're doing. You got to set a standard.
Well, guys, I remember when my daughter started there. She in 2011 at Tuskegee, and so I went into this thing with now she was a graduate student, of course, but she wasn't undergrad. But there were a number of us parents that were there with our youngsters, and they laid down the law. Said, look, now I'm telling you. You said, look. If your child uses yes sir and no sir, and around here that goes a long ways, they're very old school. Of course, I liked it. I appreciate it, and they talked about that. You're not going to be sagging around here. You're going to pull your pants up. You're going to look professional, and that's the way they roll. And it was the same thing because I remember an instance where some of the guys were doing something they had dreads or something like that. And they were in the, medical school, and they told them, no, you can't, you're going to have to clean that up if you're going to be here. So I don't have a problem with that. I think after people leave, they can do what they want to do. So the provost spoke to me at their white coat ceremony. Had gone down with some other family members, and my daughter had represented the school at an international oncology conference at Michigan State. And I said, what are you going to wear? And so she said, So I said, wait a minute, hold it. I said, I'm coming down. Went to Montgomery, got her 3 business suits, got her some pumps, some nice sheer hose and stuff like that. And I said, look, when you go, look like that. I don't care what everybody else looks like. You look like this. So when it got back for the white coat ceremony, I was there in her apartment, and everybody was, oh, you look good. She had on one of those suits that I had bought her, but she had on what I call club shoes. You know what I mean? Them real high things that you would wear out to a club or something like that. And I said, should I say something or should I not say something? I said, I'm going to say something. I said, they might get mad at me. I'm going to say something. I said, look, because it was all women. I was the only guy. I said, baby, I said, look, I appreciate you asking. You look beautiful, but why don't you go put those pumps on that I bought you? I think this is going to be more appropriate for this occasion. She went, put the pumps on, had on her business suit, went to the white coat ceremony, and the provost said, this your daughter? I said, yes. She called us out. It was about 80 of them, right? She called me to the side with her. She said, she is the only person, and this is at Tuskegee. She said, she's the only person dressed tonight the way we want students to look here. You see? I mean, and that's the way they roll. So now some people, well, you know, they don't care, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I've always been concerned about that kind of thing anyway, because I believe that your image that you project, how you look, it makes a difference. And so, and I think that's affected her throughout her entire career, going places, because she actually went to second largest animal hospital in the country in northern New Jersey. And the school people actually called her in and said, you know, no student has ever gotten an externship at this place. You're the very first African-American student from Tuskegee to go here. A lot of it has to do with presentation. I'm just telling you, it does.
Oh, no question.
And you know, it's not like we're the smartest people on the planet, nothing like that. But I think that when people say, oh, because when I went to that white coat ceremony, man, it was some of them, brother, they were showing thighs all over the place. You know, basically women. And they had on the real short dresses. They had tattoos all over the place. And I was like, well, you know, they might be able to get away with that, but I don't want my kid looking like that now. You know, she can go get some tattoos now that she got what she needs, but I didn't want her coming out of school looking like that.
Yeah, I think you did the right thing, and you know, at the end of the day, it's about being professional, and it sounds like she made the right choices, and it was noticed and respected. That's a good thing.
Right. But so now, Hampton, let me say this right quick. I'm told that Hampton's MBA program is the same thing. It said, look, if you're getting a master's of business at Hampton, to my Hampton University in Virginia, I don't know what they're doing now, but I was told during that same era, they said, look, you will not come up in there with your hair looking all crazy and all. I'm talking about guys now. You know, if you're gonna be a master business person coming out of Hampton, you're gonna look the part as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. And like I said, you know, the late Earl Gray's Black Enterprise.
Yeah,
I've shared this story multiple times. Earl Gray's used to say he's not running democracy. He said the guy that's coming delivering from another vendor, such as a UPS or whatever, that don't work for him, ain't coming in this building with a hat on, turned backwards. He said he's running a business, not a democracy. He called them eccentric heritage. That's what he called them. And he didn't play. And I think about if put your black folks I see out in public. You never see Louis Farrakhan, the nation of Islam. No facial hair, clean shaven, no eccentric haircut, always dressed in a nice suit with a bow tie. Think about Barack Obama, what he wears, the Dr. King, he's going to go back to the Jesse Jackson. All these leaders, they don't have these, I'm not worried about the hairstyle, the way they dress. And I appreciate that. And locally, I like what you said. When you get to where you need to do, you can dress down. Like our Governor Stein. He very rarely wears a tie. He likes to wear a polo shirt and likes to kiss the tie. And that's unbelievable once you made it to the governor's office.
Right. You're breaking up a little bit, too. But anyway, you know, I think that's how we present ourselves is really important. And even now, you know, we can be business casual, But I think there are times that calls for a tie, and but I've seen that whole thing, guys, at the local university here, because there were times in past when I would do things at the university level here at Fayetteville State, and the kids would come in the morning, and I see them coming in with the bonnets, and they look like they hadn't showered or done anything, and they have their pajamas on, and I didn't say anything because really, what could I say? But I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's not a good look. Someone coming from my career, my expectation, people would come to work. You look a certain way. There's a level of professionalism. They have relaxed the dress code a little bit, but you don't expect people coming to work. And typically, we didn't allow open-toed shoes, in the office. You look professional, and I think there is something about that. First impressions are important, and it really does matter. So I think that if you learn it early, you should be good down the road. So I'm glad what Tuskegee is doing, and other universities should do the same thing. I don't know what it's like right now at Carolina or NC State or Duke. Are they enforcing codes like they are at some of the HBCUs? I'm not sure if they are.
But I don't know. But I said we got to go to a break. But I say this: look, I volunteered last year with Bill Hefner Elementary School, Dr. Zakia Backman, and we're praying for her. She just lost her husband recently. But man, she runs a tight ship over there. Those folk over there look like the teachers look like when I was in the first grade in 1961. I'm telling you, they looked the part. And I'm telling you, man, the atmosphere and how the students act and everything is entirely different. And I believe a lot of it has to do with how you attire yourselves. Going to go to a break, and we're going to be right back for more of the morning show, J and DL.
The Senate Judiciary Committee delayed a vote on Todd Blanche's Attorney General nomination after North Carolina U.S. Senator Tom Tillis and Texas Senator John Cornyn raised objections. Professor of Political Science, Director of the Meredith College poll, David McClellan, says senators could derail the president's plans. Thousands of survivors of a powerful earthquake in southwestern Japan have spent today in crowded shelters or sleeping in cars as they face shortages of fuel and water. Anthropic says its AI models hacked into 3 organizations during testing. This comes days after OpenAI and its AI models went rogue and hacked into another company. A rare tornado caused damage in Madison County that has now been confirmed by the National Weather Service. With the 2026 general election just 3 months away, Buncombe County is recruiting 750 paid poll workers. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. On Thursday, July 30th, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office found human remains in the 1300 block of Deep Creek Road in Fayetteville. At about 4:30 p.m., deputies found the human remains in the woods in that area. The identity of the individual is unknown at this time. The investigation is still ongoing. They will release more information when it becomes available. Do you have questions, ideas, or feedback about Cumberland County? Coffee with the Commissioners is your opportunity to connect with your county commissioners in a relaxed, informal setting. Ask questions, share what's important to you, and learn more about the projects and initiatives shaping the community. This is Tuesday, August 4th, 6 until 7 p.m. at Bethany Rural Fire Department Station 12. If you can't make it, mark your calendar for the next event that is on Wednesday, August 19th, 8 until 9 a.m. That is at the Hope Mills Public Safety Center. Light refreshments will be provided at both events. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
High pressure will remain in place today, keeping us dry across the area, and temperatures will be a bit warmer this afternoon. We'll then see temperatures slowly drop through the end of the weekend, and we'll see better chances for showers and storms by Sunday. We're mostly clear to start the day with temperatures in the mid-60s. We'll then see lots of sunshine by this afternoon, and highs will reach to around 90. Highs will be back at around 90 on Saturday with some brief showers. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN Weather Center.
Hey, Cumberland County, you're invited to Coffee with the Commissioners, a chance to ask questions, share ideas, and learn more about Cumberland County government. Stop by on August 4th from 6 to 7 p.m. at Bethany Rural Fire Department, or August 19th from 8 to 9 a.m. at the Hope Mills Public Safety Center. Learn more at cumberlandcountync.gov or follow ccnc.gov on social media.
Remember the rotary phone? Well, soon that's what people are going to ask about gas-powered cars. And every day we see videos of robots becoming more and more like us. Welcome to the future. At Fayetteville State University, we believe that anything really can happen. So wherever it is that you want to go, we've got a program for that. Visit Fayetteville State University and find out how we're preparing students just like you for what comes next. Fayetteville State University. Are you in?
Angelic Florist Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville, is family-owned and operated, proudly serving the Fayetteville area. Whatever the occasion, Angelic Florist Creations can create a floral arrangement or gift for any occasion or holiday. Angelic Florist Creations has prompt, friendly, and caring service. If you want to say you care, you can always say it with flowers from Angelic Florist Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville. Call 910-485-2205.
Hey, you looking for your next car? Start at Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville. At Bryan Honda, we make buying a car simple, stress-free, and affordable. Whether you're searching for a brand new Honda or a quality pre-owned vehicle, we've got a huge selection to fit every lifestyle and every budget. From fuel-efficient Civics and Accords to family-friendly CRVs and Pilots, Bryan Honda has the perfect vehicle waiting for you, and with our friendly, knowledgeable sales team, you'll never feel pressured. Need financing? No problem. Bryan Honda works with multiple lenders to get you approved fast with competitive rates that make sense for you. Plus, our certified service department is here long after the sale, keeping your Honda running strong for years to come. Drive smarter, drive happier, and drive home today from Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville, or you can visit online, bryanhonda.com. Your road starts here. Nobody beats a Bryan Honda deal. Not now, not ever.
Ladies, it's your time to shine. Join Faith Tabernacle Christian Center for a weekend of ministry, fellowship, and fun during our Sisters Retreat 2026 in Myrtle Beach, October 2nd through 4th, hosted by Pastor Denise Goings. This wonderful retreat will take place in Myrtle Beach and will include transportation by a chartered coach to and from Myrtle Beach, 2-night stay at a luxurious oceanfront property, 2 meals, several life-changing seminars and workshops throughout the weekend by Pastor Denise Goings and others, t-shirts, door prizes, and much more. All this for the early bird rate of just $300 per person. In a double bedroom with a 2 or 3 bedroom condo, a deposit of at least $75 is needed to register. Registration is open until September 20th, but space is limited. So go online and register now. Don't miss this opportunity to get away and fellowship during this life-changing weekend for ladies only. To register, call 910-865-5252 or visit us online at ftccenter.org.
Good Friday morning. We start your day with mostly clear skies and temperatures in the mid-60s. Highs are a bit warmer today at around 90 degrees, and we'll see plenty of sunshine throughout the day. We're then partly cloudy overnight, and temperatures will drop to around 70 degrees by Saturday morning. We're then partly cloudy on Saturday with some brief showers possible, highs at around 90. Better chances for showers and storms by Sunday, with highs cooler in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN.
Back for the second half of the morning show on this Friday, Jay and DL. Jay, we're going to tend it to you now, sir.
Yeah, I don't know how much of you are paying attention to what goes on in sports. And I know you have a show on Monday and talk about sports. This seems to be bigger than sports. A lot seems to have to do with race. When we're talking about the WNBA, a league that's it's about 80% African American, might even be more. You have a superstar, and there are many superstars, but one in particular seems to get so much coverage, Caitlin Clark. You can say what you want about her. I'm not a big fan. I don't even watch a lot of the WNBA. I'm watching it more now because there's so much coverage on ESPN with the pundits. And I'm just wondering what you guys think. You know, what I see, the audience has gone way up since she's come into the league. Stadiums have been selling out more since she's come into the league. She is the highest paid, I think with endorsements and everything, the highest paid ever to be in the WNBA. The question is she sort of like the great white hope like Larry Bird was? You know, you have a great white player and all of a sudden, you know, you get so much attention. Is the attention deserved? Is there jealousy in the league? But I just hear so much back and forth that she gets too much attention. Why are some of these other stars not getting the same attention? There are other players that are better, but they talk about it a lot. WNBA has never been talked about like this since she's been in the league, both positively and negatively. Do you have any thoughts on that, DL or Troy?
Dia?
Well, yeah. Well, Caitlin and I think Adam Silver, who's the NBA commissioner, you might as well say he's over the WNBA commission because they put the bill for the WNBA. She's being used for political football. Now, that league has been in existence since 97, and this is they celebrated their 30th year. They've come a long way. Their salary went up because the young ladies used to have to play overseas. It's tough for Caitlin Clark. She's definitely not the best player now. She's not Larry Bird. Now, she did lead her team to 2 back-to-back NCAA championship games, which is good in itself, but she just didn't have the talent going up against the LSUs and the South Carolina Gamecocks. It is some jealousy. They don't like the media coverage, and Caitlin doesn't help herself out. My only issue with Caitlin Clark is she embellishes files and she complains. That is my only issue. Right. She has a lot of growing, just like the other players have a lot to grow. But this league has shot itself in its own foot just by off-the-court controversy. You have Paige Beckers, who's a top 10 player in the league, and you have Angel Reese, a top 10 player. They were jokingly talking about betting, which
I saw that $400.
That would be a one. The NFL suspended Calvin Ridley. He came from either Georgia, Alabama. He got suspended 1 year. That's when this league is taking a hit PR-wise. That should have been a suspension. I don't think they're going to touch those 2 players, and I think they're going to fire the commissioner. And it's just another thing. It's one thing after another when it comes to the WNBA. It doesn't help. They want Caitlin to call out the people who are these, what they call white supremacists who have used her in this black or white race issue. And I'm like, she's like this. She's already said it multiple times. She's not going to say it every time because the one player was getting death threats who got suspended for coming down on her neck. So, and I think Caitlin's like this. She feel like she said enough, and some analysts on ESPN feel like she needs to be a little bit more self-awareness and take a little bit more responsibility. But Monica McNutt didn't expound, and now they're dragging her. But I will say this before I yield to Troy. They are going to mess up a good thing in the WNBA. And, you know, I just think these young ladies. Now, the one big thing they're saying that happened, Troy, real quickly, they're saying they're being harassed, death threats, and whatnot. Well, it's not happening in the arena. It's not happening in the arena. It's happening on social media. Well, young ladies, you have to file police reports, even if they don't catch them. I've seen one person fired for making a threat towards one of the WNBA players. And lastly, I'm going to have to bring this in since you brought it up, Jay. Sophie Cunningham, she's right. She follows, I ain't going to say right wing, but she's conservative. Make a long story short, she was on her podcast and she said.
Is she a white female? I don't even know who she is.
She's a white female and she plays with Caitlin Clark. She said that trans women should not be allowed to play in female sports. So guess what happened when the Fever were playing in Seattle Storm? Sophie had some girls with some shirts on supporting her in the crowd. So the minority owner for the Seattle Storm, female, who happened to be lesbian, she called them stupid. So the WNBA suspended the owner for 5 games. The WNBA is like some of these other left groups. We value your opinion. Only we don't value your opinion. So that's another PR hit. That's a knock on the WNBA that they target straight females. So
that was
very,
the point.
I'm glad you're paying attention to it, Dia, because you added a lot of very, very good points. But I just want to add one thing, Troy, beforehand. The WNBA all of a sudden is a conversation. 2-3 years ago, people weren't talking much about the WNBA. Now there are some stars. People are watching. Audience is growing. And a lot of people do attribute it to Caitlin Clark. She's not the most likable person, quite honestly, in the world. And like you said, she's not the best player. But you have to give her some credit for bringing up the WNBA's audience. And definitely she deserves some credit for that. That's all I would have to say. Troy?
Sure. Well, but I would say I'm going back to piggyback on what DL was saying. Truth of the matter is, they're saying that the sexual orientation issue is a big thing, and that
it is.
A whole lot of these young ladies are the other way, and that Caitlin Clark is not. She's heterosexual, and that some of the brunt of what she is having to suffer is because she's not one of them. And
you're absolutely right.
I'll be honest with you. I believe that. I think that is that's definitely part of why they hate her, is because she represents a straight, a heterosexual white woman, and they ain't like that. So I'm just saying, that's sad, but they're bullies, man, and they ain't nothing new. That's the way they roll.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I agree with you. See, isn't it amazing? I agree with you 100%, Troy. That doesn't happen a lot. We're on the same page, my friend.
It's still 15 minutes left in the show. It's still 15 minutes left in the show. Anyway, you had another point you was going to address it.
Just very, very briefly. What makes me ill? I am a capitalist. I'm liberal. I'm moderate, but I'm still a capitalist. I believe that companies are there to make money. These big companies, not only do they make a lot of money, they hire a lot of people. But when I read stories like I read this morning, it just sort of makes me a little bit ill, and it's greed. Exxon has been profiting $160 million a day since the war started, or at least in the last 3-4 months. And if Exxon is making those type of profits, so are the other oil companies.
They are.
But yet the gas prices keep going up. And I got to say that there's something wrong in this country, in this world, where I get it. They make money. It's good for the shareholders. But, most of the people in this country aren't shareholders of Exxon or some of these other oil companies. And oil prices, gas is like at $4 a gallon. So how do they sort of deal with making so much money but not giving the consumer a little bit of a break? I don't get it. I think it's outrageous, and I think people need to push back on these oil companies. That's all I want to say. It's one thing to make a profit. It's another thing, in my opinion, to what I call gouging. And that, to me, is gouging. It's disgraceful.
Well, that's what the president said, and he said he wanted the DOJ to look into it, that they were overpricing, and I believe they are. I think what America could do is just take one day and not buy gas. You know what I mean? Just choose not to buy gas anywhere in one day. Send them a message, because look, this stuff is not being driven up by anything other than greed. I mean, and it's been that way all along.
Exactly. It's greed.
It's
greed.
And so the stories. You're old enough to know that they've said this too. Look, they're saying, hey, look, there are cars out there that's been engines and things that could make cars run 60, 70 miles a gallon. And as soon as the petroleum industry sees this, hey, we'll pay you X, Y, B, millions of dollars. Don't bring that here. We don't want that. Right. So, the petroleum industry makes a killing. They make a whole lot of money. Matter of fact, I have relatives that have worked for Exxon. I worked, and he recently retired, but he was in Saudi Arabia. Got out of that and became, he ran a school for the Saudi prince. But, I'm just saying, look, them rascals gonna make some money, man. That's where it rolls.
But you said something, Troy, that's important, and I'm going to relay it to another story now. I'll let DL get in. But, when you boycotts do work. Look what happened with DEI and Black America. Black America was not happy with Target when they got rid of DEI policies, and they boycotted. Target sales went down, and they're still trying to recover because black folks said, we're not going to shop at Target. We don't like your policies, and it made a difference. The same thing can happen with the oil companies. Now, one time it didn't work is with Amazon. Amazon is also a very greedy company, and so is Jeff Bezos, who I won't get into. But guess what? People say, oh, my God, we're going to boycott Amazon. The problem is everyone uses Amazon every day. People don't want to get away from Amazon. That's the problem. We get so attached to that great customer service and those easy deliveries. We're like, well, they don't do good things, but I still want my packages every day. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in.
Dio, you got a comment on that?
Hey, capitalism is here. That's all I can say.
Well, look, I gotta say this. Okay, now I'm not gonna let you get away today, Jay. Now, so on Tuesday, because I know you follow this, and you the CNN focus is like your holy grail in some ways. Don't try to do.
Okay,
don't try to run from that. But the deal is, they said 1/3 of the Democratic Party was socialists.
I know.
Now, okay, I'm listening to you now. Be fair about it.
Yeah.
What about that?
I will. Well, here's the problem. That will be the death of the Democratic Party. Listen, being liberal, supporting social programs, things of that nature is great. I'm not anti-socialist. The problem is some of the policies I heard one woman, she's part of the Democratic Socialist Association or whatever they call it. She was talking about, doing away with Senate, doing away with the judicial system, no jails. Okay, that to me is so absurd. And if that's the messaging that will be used, trust me, these will be used in the upcoming election with the Republicans talking about this is who you want in office. They're going to get rid of jails. They're going to get rid of police. There's not going to be a government. No, it's absurd. It's not good for the party. I was just listening last night to some pundits, Republicans and Democrats. Even the Democrats, the traditionalists like myself, have said, listen, there's nothing wrong with being a socialist. But if you want to win elections, if you want to win these midterms, that is a death sentence for the party. And I'm telling you right now, the more they talk about it, and this 1/3 of the party that is moving in that direction, it's not good. I'm not happy. I like the energy that some of these socialists have. They're young and they're energetic, but some of their ideas ain't going to sell to mainstream America. It may sell in New York City and in L.A. It ain't going to sell in mainstream America. It's a problem. I hope it goes away as soon as possible. Bad, bad, bad. That's my take on it. We're in agreement on that, Mr. Troy.
But I'm saying to you, and both you guys, look now, AOC, you're describing her. And you're also describing Bernie Sanders. But I would say to everybody, Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat.
Can I just say this? I won't let you get that in, because here's what I would say. AOC and Bernie are socialists.
I know.
But they are not. But we're talking, some of this fringe that's coming out now is nuts. It's even further left and crazier than Bernie and AOC. The other thing is, one other thing that's really important here. I'm a Jew. I will tell you one thing. Pro-Israel is going to kill your candidacy. If you get money from AIPAC and you are pro-Israel and pro that government and the Israeli policies, you can forget getting elected. It will hurt you this coming up election. I just wanted to add that. DL?
Well, I treat some of those far left folks, they're from, I say, Colorado. We know they're in New York and these other blue states. They can say pretty much what they want to and get the locals to vote for them. But, I'm not worried about not having jails and police officers in North Carolina. In New York, that's another animal. I just think it's good political roundtable to talk about. When it catches on and they're starting to win House and Senate seats, then come talk to me. But this is just, folks got to have their 5 minutes of fame. The worst technology has been this cell phone, this mobile device that I'm on, and social media, and the ability to live stream because you can say anything stupid.
That's right. But look, again, though, let me emphasize this. AOC also says that she thinks that we ought to do away with the U.S. Senate. Now, I heard her say this in live time. Okay, so.
Well, it's nuts.
I know, but I'm just saying, and look, she's on the ticket, man. I mean, they're looking at her as being a presidential candidate. So now, DL, understand something. I'm just paying attention. I'm talking about right around here in Cumberland County, Fayetteville. You got some pretty strong, in my mind, socialist ideas here. When people are just, hey, look, these people are poor. We just need to build them a house. No, not a little house. They need a house. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just telling you what's going on right here. I mean, they may not be calling themselves socialists, but that's what they are. And anything that generates wealth and money for our community, we don't want it. I mean, I understand you got problems with data centers, all this other stuff, but they don't want anything. Anything that you bring here that creates jobs and, we don't want this. What do you want? All I hear them saying is that we want the taxpayers to be footing the bill, and we've got people right now running for office that, in my mind, are just as strong socialists as AOC. Right here in Cumberland County.
Troy, the Democrats have put forth 2 female candidates. You had Hillary, then Joe Biden, and then Vice President Harris. They can put another, you can elect who you want. The Vice President Harris, she was appointed. She didn't win. She was appointed.
Right. She didn't win a primary, right.
Now, if AOC, she has her right to throw her hat in the ring, she'll get the New York vote, but I don't see her winning. And if they do, it'll be a good thing for the GOP.
Not even close.
Yeah, it'll be a good thing for the GOP. We're not going to see I don't think we'll see one from the Democrat Party. You might see one from the GOP. I don't think that's going to happen because these after Trump, these folks seen how much power I can lean into. So I just don't see a female president in my lifetime. I'm 56, soon to be 57. I don't think I'll see it in my lifetime.
I think we could. Here's the thing. Michelle Obama said it right. She said the country, at least this next term, is not going to vote for a female president. It doesn't mean she's obviously pro-female, but we're not ready this time. You saw what happened last time. I think folks need to settle down and get a good candidate in there, but I don't think a female can win. They will win eventually, and I hope in my lifetime. I'm 65, so I hope it's in my lifetime, as long as it's the right candidate. Let me just say one more thing about socialism. My daughter is a socialist. She is not that far left. Her issue is with billionaires. That is her big issue, is that they should pay fair taxes. She thinks there should be a wealth tax, and that employees of these billionaires like Musk and Bezos, they should be paid a livable wage, a fair wage. She doesn't think that it's fair the way they treat their employees. They make billions and billions of dollars, and their employees, if you read some articles recently about Amazon, some of these Amazon employees are really struggling. There was recently a Washington Post article that a lot of these Amazon employees
are struggling with day-to-day just living. So that's a problem when Bezos is worth $250 billion and his employees are not getting paid a fair, livable wage.
Right.
That's an issue. And whether you're socialist or not, what's fair is fair. So I just wanted to add that.
Sure. Our time is up, but look, I appreciate you guys. But look, I think, revisit that whole thing. They do pay the majority of the taxes. They do. I mean, I know what people say.
Oh, no, they do.
But
they do.
But I'm saying,
I'm not going to argue with that.
But I'm saying, but Jay, it's not factual. This whole thing. No, look, I'm not filthy rich, so I'm not defending them for that. But I am a defender of truth. I mean, just like Bill Maher said. He said, look, I'm not filthy rich. He said, but 60% of my wealth goes to taxes. And he's right. And I'm just saying, so, look, if somebody wasn't paying the taxes, we couldn't have all this stuff that we have. So they are paying a whole lot of taxes. But, yeah, they're going to hire lawyers and accountants to try to avoid taxes. There's nothing wrong with that. If you would have had that kind of money, you would either be giving it away or you'd be doing the opposite thing. You'd be doing the same thing they're doing. But, look, I love you guys, man. Appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in with us. And we'll be back on Monday. Hope you have a great weekend. Tomorrow is the beginning of a new month, August. So we'll see how hot August and September gets. But anyway, our producer on the